Legacy Builders, welcome to the third lesson of the copyright chapter of the IP for Business Blueprint course. I'm Jenn McNeely with JWM Designs and Marketing, and in this video lesson, I'm going to talk about the basics of registering your copyright with the United States Copyright Office. In the prior lessons of this chapter, I've defined copyrights, what sorts of things can be copyrighted, and how to transfer your rights for profit. Why now? Now that you know what a copyright is and how to transfer your rights, you probably want to know what you as the owner of a copyright can do to protect your copyright. Knowing your rights is a vital component to protecting your intellectual property. So let's get into it. Your exclusive ownership rights to reproduce, display, perform, distribute, and create adaptations or derivatives of an original creative work is not dependent on whether you register your copyright with the U.S. Copyright Office. By default, once the creative original work is put in a tangible medium, it is protected by copyright law. So what does registering your copyright do? Registering your copyright gives you additional legal tools that non-registered copyright cannot give you. The most important right registration gives you is the right to sue anyone who infringes on your ownership rights. Even though you may own the unregistered copyright, you cannot sue for infringement until the work is actually registered. Additionally, if you register your copyright either before any infringing activity happens or within 3 months of the work being published, you can potentially collect statutory damages for infringement plus have your attorney's fees paid by the infringing party. Aside from the ability to sue for infringement, by registering your copyright with the U.S. Copyright Office, you are essentially putting the public on notice that you own the copyright and you have the exclusive right to use the copyright nationwide. So what is the U.S. Copyright Office and what do they do? Well, speaking of the USCO, it is a department of the Library of Congress and it is in charge of registering copyrights and recording licenses as well as administering the laws associated with copyrights. They also advise Congress on issues related to copyright law and policy. The basics of filing an application to register with the U.S. Copyright Office. Before I go any further, I want to put a few disclaimers out there. This section is a general overview of the copyright registration process. While it is a fairly simple process and does not take nearly as long as the trademark application process, it is still important that you do your own research in addition to watching this video. Now that we've gotten the disclaimers out of the way, let's talk about the process of registering your copyright. There are 3 parts of the registration process: an application form, deposit materials, meaning the original work, and fees. Do you need an attorney to register? You are not required to have an attorney file your copyright application or file your deposit materials. Unlike the trademark application process, it's much simpler and less costly to register your copyright. However, there are some instances where you might want to consult with an intellectual property attorney. For instance, if multiple people created the work and you anticipate there will be a large economic value in that copyright, you might want to involve an attorney before you file. Also, if you have plans to license your work to a publisher or distributor, you may want to get the advice of an attorney before preparing or signing any agreement to make sure that your interests are protected. Believe me, the publisher and the distributor will have someone looking at their agreement. Make sure you have someone looking out for you. The application. The U.S. Copyright Office allows both online and paper applications. Most of you will likely register via the online portal called the Electronic Copyright Office, the EOC. You will need to register for an account with the portal to make a username and password. Most online applications cost between $35 and $55. If you register via a paper form, the fee is $85. Believe me, you want to register online because it's quicker, cheaper, and easier to track your progress. The application itself is simple. You will need to know what category your work fits in. That is it a literary work, performing arts, visual arts, photographs, motion pictures, or other digital content like software or computer program. You will need the name and address of the authors of the work as well as the contact information for who the U.S. Copyright Office should contact if there is an issue with the application. Once you log into the EOC, you will need to select an application type. If you are publishing one work, you will use the standard application. If you have a group of works, you can submit up to 10 works if the works are unpublished and were created by the same authors and are of the same type. After you've submitted all of the required information about the work, you will pay the corresponding fee. Once the fee is paid, you will then upload the work or works you want to register. And that's it. Once the U.S. Copyright Office receives all of that and approves your application, you will receive a certificate of registration. One common objection I often hear from business owners is whether registering a copyright is necessary if they are a small business. I think it's never a bad thing to protect your intellectual property and, by extension, your business from people who may want to capitalize on your success. You don't have to register everything, but I would encourage you to register those works that could produce significant economic value. Registering a copyright is fairly simple and low cost. If you produce copyrightable works that have an economic value, then why not register it? Think about it. What if your photo goes viral and brands want to use it in their advertising campaigns? Don't you want to protect your economic interests and make a little extra money? You're in the business to make money, so why not? Why is doing nothing a bad idea? The biggest draw for registering your copyright is that it puts you on sound footing to enforce your rights against others. Whether it's a cease and desist letter or actual litigation, you can't truly harness the power of your copyright without first registering it. Let's recap. In this lesson, I talked about the process of registering your copyright with the United States Copyright Office. Unlike trademark registration, registering your copyright is a quick and easy process, and you can register more than one creative work at a time. It's much less expensive than the trademark registration process, and it gives you the ability to seek legal action against anyone who infringes on your registered copyright. Your action steps for this lesson are to take inventory of your copyrightable materials and decide if there is any potential economic value in those materials and apply and register your copyright. I hope that you found this third lesson in the copyright chapter to be helpful. We are going to switch gears a bit and start talking about ways that you can use other people's intellectual property legally, but without permission. Please post your questions or comments on this video in the comments area below. You can also post questions and comments in the private Facebook group for this course. Remember, you also can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and my handles to those sites are listed in the course resources area as well as in your e-notebook. Well, that's it for this lesson, so until I see you in the next lesson, keep building, y'all.